King Charles III and Queen Camilla are mourning the death of Pope Francis. Charles said he and the Queen were deeply saddened by the Pope's death, but their heavy hearts were somewhat eased, knowing His Holiness was able to share an Easter greeting with the Church and the world he served with such devotion throughout his life and ministry. He wrote in a statement on social media, "Francis died Easter Monday at 88, the Vatican announced. His Holiness will be remembered for his compassion, his concern for the unity of the Church and for his tireless commitment to the common causes of all people of faith, and to those of goodwill who work for the benefit of others," Charles added. His belief that care for creation is an existential expression of faith in God resounded with so many across the world. Through his work and care for both people and planet, he profoundly touched the lives of so many, the statement continued. The Queen and I remember with particular affection our meetings with His Holiness over the years, and we were greatly moved to have been able to visit him earlier this month. Need a break? Play the USA Today Daily Crossword Puzzle. Cardinal Kevin Farrell, Camerlengo of the Apostolic Chamber, announced the Pope's death from the Casa Santa Marta on April 21. According to Vatican News, at 7:35 this morning, the Bishop of Rome, Francis, returned to the house of the Father. His entire life was dedicated to the service of the Lord and of His Church. He taught us to live the values of the Gospel with fidelity, courage, and universal love, especially in favor of the poorest and most marginalized. With immense gratitude for his example as a true disciple of the Lord Jesus, we commend the soul of Pope Francis to the infinite merciful love of the one and triune God. The Pope's death comes one day after a frail but determined Francis greeted thousands in St. Peter's Square after Easter Mass in his open-air Popemobile minus, and just weeks after an extended hospital stay in which he battled bilateral pneumonia and other health issues. Recently, the royal couple paid the Pope a visit during a trip to Italy. Charles, 76, who is himself recovering from cancer, meaning his workload has to be carefully managed, wrote privately to the Pope when Francis was taken ill, a source previously told Reuters. The pair met during Charles's visits to Rome in 2017 and 2019 before he became king. As British monarch, Charles heads the Church of England, which split from the Catholic Church in 1534. A palace spokesperson said at the time that his and Camilla's trip would symbolize a significant step forward in relations between the two and mark celebrations for the 2025 Catholic Holy Year. "We send our most heartfelt condolences and profound sympathy to the Church he served with such resolve," Charles wrote in the ending to his statement, "and to the countless people around the world who, inspired by his life, will be mourning the devastating loss of this faithful Father of Jesus Christ." Tributes to the Pope pour in after death. Whoopi Goldberg, Russell Crowe, more. News of the Pontiff's death prompted more outpourings of mourning from worshippers and grievers around the world. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, wrote on her Instagram stories, "No better example of total humility and kindness and compassion. Thank you for leading us not just with words but with your unwavering service to humanity." Donatella Versace also weighed in, writing on Instagram, "Rest in peace His Holiness," alongside a photo of the Pope. Gloria Estefan wrote in her own Instagram tribute, "Rest in peace and power, Pope Francis, you opened hearts and minds, and were fearless in your guidance. Thank you for putting love first until your last moments on this earth." Actor Russell Crowe also paid tribute, writing on X, "A beautiful day in Rome, but a sad day for the faithful. Rip Antonio Banderas, Eva Longoria." More stars share photos with the Pope. Whoopi Goldberg also offered condolences online, writing on Instagram, "He was the closest in a long time that seemed to remember that Christ's love enveloped believer and non-believer, sick. He felt more like Pope John XXIII, who made belief real. Sail on Pope Francis, sick, with your love of humanity and laughter." Katie Couric also took to the social media app to post a photo of herself alongside the Pope with the caption, "Rest in peace dear Pope Francis." Antonio Banderas shared a photo of himself shaking hands with the Pontiff, captioning the Instagram post, "Pope Francisco has died, a man who, at the head of the Catholic Church, showed kindness, love, and mercy to the neediest people." Eva Longoria, sharing a photo to Instagram showing herself and the Pontiff with bowed heads, called the religious leader an ally to many of us, and thanked him for speaking up for the marginalized. "Your compassion, kindness and humility will always be remembered," she wrote. Sylvester Stallone, who also shared a photo of himself alongside the Pope, wrote on Instagram, "A wonderful, wonderful man. Rest in peace, Holy Father. Contributing: Cybele Mays Osterman, John Bacon and Susan Miller, USA Today, Michael Holden, Reuters. This story was